Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
Start before you are ready. There is never a perfect time to start. You don't know what the future holds for you. So whenever opportunity arises, even though you don't know it's an opportunity, grasp it because it could yield dividends in future. Money loves bold people. It's true from my personal experience in life. Take risk. Sometimes you lose, you don't always win, but risk takers also become very successful in life. I was successful because I took a lot of risk. Problems do not kill you. If there is someone that has survived problems, you are seeing that person. When the stock market crashed, my husband and I thought we crashed along with it. But we survived, and here we are today. We never got back to what we were before the stock market crashed, but we survived. Problems will not kill you. Be loyal to your dreams, not other people's opinion. Everyone knows how I feel about public opinion. Just focus on what you want to do, focus on your ambition, on your dream, and let it come to pass. Other people's opinion are worth zilch in what you are trying to achieve. You want respect, respect yourself first. When you make, and this particularly applies to women who are wives, when you make yourself a doormat in a marriage, your husband has no alternative but to treat you as a doormat. You are there just for him to step on. Bring up yourself, have self-dignity and respect, and you will be equally respected. Don't just pray, work too. I hate Nigerians' attitude to prayers. I hate it. Not dislike, hate. You are preparing for an examination. Let's say biology. You don't read. You don't know about the central nervous system or the digestive system. You do prayer and fasting for 1 week. You don't open your biology textbook. You will fail. You are going for a USA visa interview. You don't get your bank statements. You don't get all the documents that you are supposed to take with you. You only go to church and ask prayer requests. You will not be granted a visa. Rest, but don't quit. Don't ever quit. Be consistent in whatever you are doing. You may not get immediate results. You may not get immediate success. But ultimately, if you persevere, it will.
I want really ask you, who they train Nigerian police officers? Like, who they train these people? You don't understand who they train them, who they give them gun, who they give them uniform. All these questions we're supposed to be asked for this country. Who they train our policemen? Because we need to know who they train. You know why they ask this thing? Because very soon we go declare war on these police officers. So I swear on God, we go declare war. That's why they ask who they train these people, who they give them uniform and who they give them gun. You know, I know be seeking go. Can I go? Wallahi to like colleague in a capital wallahi mumpika. You know understand if they feel say your own too more, our own command our body. Now, watch this police officer for this video. Now waiting for up now. Watch this police officer now. Now this kind of people they talk about. So we go come for them if we don't know who they train this police officer. Now see person. What is the difference between this police officer and a fool? What is the difference between this policeman and a fool? He carries spanner, a trained officer, a trained. That's why they ask who they train them. Because we need to start from the training. A trained police officer carry wheel spanner. When they tell the wheel, loose tire, wheel, knock person for head. Now, if you watch the video, you go see, say, as they even knock the person for head, other policemen rush to stop him. They say, oh, bro, Baba, stop now. You know they use your number 6. You see those police officers, even say, I don't know what this man do. If you say this man don't commit, if you say the man no commit, you don't get. But you see, say some policemen there, we constantly get sense, we constantly professional. They stop this fool from carrying out his foolishness the more. Now these people are they talk about. How you go use spanner, the knock person for as a trained police officer? Spanner there among the techniques to bundle person inside motor, because I believe say. Why the difference between you and the civilian now the training? You know they train on how to forcefully put somebody inside motor when the person refuse to enter. Those are techniques. There are techniques where they teach you now. Say if somebody refuse, they prove stubborn, just like maybe this person here. I don't know what he do. If people say he no do anything, no, then there are techniques you apply to put that person inside. And I believe say knocking the person with spanner, not the part of the techniques. But you see, in own just to use spanner to hit this man for head. See the other policemen there. They stop him from doing that, to carrying out that foolishness. That's why they talk say it don't reach the way where they ask our police officers from the IT to the who they train these men. We need to know who they train our police officers, because we believe that these people are supposed to be acting professionals. There are like cases like this. As a professional, you get how they handle them. You get how they handle cases like this professionally. Not be to the use spanner. In all my stay for South Africa, I don't see where policeman carry spanner, knock person for head. I don't see him. I don't see him once. But see this one here. So you go call this one policeman. So Nigerian police officers, I beg, we need to know who they train our police officers. We need to know. If Nasemo could go get people where go get train our officer to be professional, we go donate and bring those people come. Because enough is enough. You see this song where this country, the heat in Nigeria is enough to provoke somebody. The heat in this country now, the way this country is hot, they enough to put anger for our body. Not to talk of the hunger in the land alone. The heat plus hunger, then we're going to face police. Na lie. So when I need to coordinate these men, or we go declare war on them. When I mean declare, we go declare war on them. Bama Jin Sorosu. Lie. We know they fear them. Can I Jiniko? Bama Jin Sorosu. Call the guy now Sumpito Mumpisu. Shout out to those police officers who get sense. Shout out to you as a police officer who get sense. Really professional. Shout out to you for fools like this. If you don't take time, say kachiku uwaka.
Mo kí wa nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òdì, mo kí wa ipa kó jẹ́jẹ́ ṣeré, mo kẹ́yìn ya, mo kẹ́yìn wa, mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n, mo kí àbúrò, èmi ọmọ yẹn olólùfẹ́ yín. Ayé ọpẹ́ yọ sí ọlọ́tọ̀ sí tiyín náà ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ayé ọpẹ́ a máa yọ fún wa, lórí ọmọ, lórí ìdáwọ́lé wa. Òun láyé ọpẹ́ ló máa fi máa yọ. Èwo ni mo mú wá fún wa lọ́jọ́ tí ò ní ọgbẹ̀nu tán. Kí ni mo sọ? Ọgbẹ̀nu tán. Màá sáré gbé ẹyin débẹ̀ ká jọ lọ mojú ajé kò ní sọ. Ká jọ ṣe kí ni? Ká wá máa jọ máa wò lọ. Ẹ̀yin náà wá gbàgbé láti fi comment in comment section. Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ní ìran mi. Èmi ọmọ kò tí ò jìrè. No going back ni o. Mo mọ̀ pé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ó ṣọmọ olóko bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. A ní sí pẹ̀lú òkú ẹ̀. Ìjẹ̀bú sọ wípé léèké o, àwárí léèké o. Kó tó di pé mo máa lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ gbé kéékèèké nínú àwọn fídíòs yẹn wá. Bá ṣe máa ń ṣe ẹ ṣáà mọ̀. You got it? Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré lọ wò kí wá máa bá mi ká lọ. Èmi máa ṣe báyìí sìn pọ̀. Tẹ́yìn bá ti wá wò tán, ẹ jẹ́ àjọ fi làákàyè ká fi digest ẹ̀, kí wá fi comment section sílẹ̀, kẹ́ fi comment nínú comment section, kẹ́yìn wo bó ṣe rí. Tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́, ẹ má gbàgbé láti subscribe. God bless you. Ẹ máa bá mi ká lọ.
Bá a fanámọ́ra kan rèé o. Wọ́n wú òkú ọmọkùnrin ọmọ ọdún kan. Wọ́n gé orí àti àtẹ́lẹwọ́ rẹ̀ méjèèjì fi ṣe oògùn owó lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ṣe ètò ìsìnkú fún ọmọ náà tán nípínlẹ̀ Ondo. Ayé ọ̀hún kan polúkúrú musu sí ni. Wọ́n ti fi gbọ́rọ̀ òfin gbé àwọn àfáà fanámọ́ra mẹ́ta kan tórúkọ wọn jẹ́ Aliyu Musa, Aliyu Taye àti Wasiu Babatunde fẹ̀sùn pé wọ́n wú òkú ọmọdékùnrin ọmọ ọdún kan láti lò fún oògùn owó. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ọ̀hún ló wáyé lọ́jọ́ Ìṣẹ́gun Tuesday ọjọ́ 9 oṣù keje nílùú Omi Ìfọ́n lágbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Òdìgbò nípínlẹ̀ Ondo. Níṣẹ́ làwọn èèyàn kọminú tí wọ́n sì ń ṣe ààhin láàrin ara wọn lágbègbè náà. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìwé ìròyìn The Hope ṣe gbé jáde, ọmọdékùnrin náà Táíwò ló dágbére fáyé lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì Friday ọjọ́ 5 oṣù keje ọdún 2024 yìí tí wọ́n sì sìnkú rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ náà gan-an tí ó kú. Àwọn àáfàá fanámọ́ra méjì yìí ni wọ́n sì darí ètò ìsìnkú ọmọdékùnrin náà. Àwọn olùgbé ìlú ọ̀hún tí wọ́n bá àwọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ sọ wípé lára àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n bá nílé àwọn àáfàá náà ni odó àti ọmọ odó, àwọn àsèjẹ, kẹ̀ǹkẹ̀ ìwẹ̀, ìkòkò dúdú àti àwọn nǹkan mìíràn. Alágbàtọ́ ọmọdékùnrin tí ó dolóògbé tórúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Risikat Bisiriyu ṣàlàyé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Ó ní ọmọkùnrin òun ọmọ ọdún kan ló ṣàárẹ̀ tí òun sì gbé lọ ilé ìwòsàn maternity center tí ó wà lágbègbè àwọn fún ìtọ́jú kó tó di pé wọ́n taari ọmọ náà sọ́gbà ilé ìwòsàn general nílùú Ọ̀rẹ́. Ó ní nígbà tí àwọn yóò sì fi dé ọgbà ilé ìwòsàn ọ̀hún ni ọmọ náà jọ lọ́rùn ní pé. ó ní níṣe lomi bọ́ lójú òun pòròpòrò tóun sun ẹkún kíkorò lọ́jọ́ náà léyìí tó mú kí àwọn ará àdúgbò mọ ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tó sì jẹ́ pé mùsùlùmí ni ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn táwọn wà lágbègbè náà kíá làwọn pinnu láti sin òkú ọmọ náà bó òkú rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ náà gan tí àwọn sì ké sí àwọn àfáà ọ̀hún láti wá darí ètò ìsìnkú rẹ̀ ó ní nígbà tí àwọn dé ibi tí àwọn yóò sin òkú ọmọ náà sí ọ̀kan lára àwọn àfáà náà ló gbé òkú ọmọ náà jìnnà lọ inú igbó láti sin àmọ́ tí àbúrò bàbá ọmọ tó dolóògbé náà yarí kanlẹ̀ pé kí wọ́n sin ọmọ náà sí ibì kan tí kò jìnnà sínú igbó ó ní nígbà tó di ọjọ́ ajé Monday ní nǹkan bíi agogo 10 òwúrọ̀ tí àwọn jókòó níwájú ìta ilé àwọn ní ìyàwó ọ̀kan lára àwọn àfáà náà wá sọ fáwọn pé òun kò mọ ohun tí ọkọ òun gbé wá sílé tí òórùn rẹ̀ gbalẹ̀ kankan tí àwọn kò sì kọbi ara sí ọ̀rọ̀ náà àmọ́ ní nǹkan bíi agogo 11 alẹ́ lọ́jọ́ ajé Monday ní àwọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbọ́ nígbà tí àfáà náà gún àwọn nǹkan títí di agogo 4 àbọ̀ àfẹ̀júmọ́ ó ní òun tiẹ̀ fi ń ṣàwàdà pé Ọlọ́run nìkan ló mọ ohun tí àfáà náà gún lóru ọjọ́ náà tí ó dárun mọ́ àwọn lójú àmọ́ nígbà tí àwọn ò wò fín ní àwọn rí i pé ọmọdékùnrin tí àwọn lọ sin òkú rẹ̀ ní àfáà náà gún lódó láti alẹ́ di òwúrọ̀ ìjọ́ kejì nígbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ dojú ẹ̀ ní àwọn fi tó àwọn ikọ̀ ọlọ́pàá létí tí àáfàá náà sì tọ́ka àwọn yòókù rẹ̀ tí wọ́n jọ gbèrò pọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ láabi náà lọ́wọ́ báyìí wọ́n ti nawọ́ gan àwọn afurasí àáfàá 3 tí wọ́n jọ wú òkú ọmọ ọdún kan tí wọ́n sì gé orí àti àtẹ́lẹwọ́ rẹ̀ méjèèjì gbìyànjú àti fi ṣògùn owó nípínlẹ̀ Ondo ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ fún gbígbọ́ tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa a ò ní bọ́ sọ́wọ́ àfinisògùn owó lọ́la ìlédùà.
Please call these boys, I beg. Give me time.
I need that one for give out get out of this office. Okay, get out of this office.
Call these boys.
Okay, this what I'm. This what I'm. Get out of this office. Okay, get out of this office.
Don't worry.
Get out of this office.
Wait.
No be wait. Get out of this office. Okay, get out of this office. Come and say that you are no more part of us. You are no more part of us, okay? Leave that one. Leave that one. You are no more part of us. Okay, when you are here, you will not be able to work. We have been looking for the way like this. We have been waiting for them like this for you to retire. You are not able to work. Yes. They manage you. They manage you. Whether you today. They manage you to get out of this office. This is not your office. Get out of this office. This is what you want. You give me what you want today. You give me what you want that day. You give me what you want. Back on this. Back on this out. That's what you're saying. Back on this. What you want. What you want to happen.
Now, another Nigerian has come out to drag Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. And this time is former senator, now First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. In her own words, she has said that the Senate is a place for honor, matured minds, and mature minds, and not controversy. Of course, standing with the Senate in whatever punitive measures they put in place to discipline Senator Natasha, who is now being alleged to grossly violating Senate rules and all of that, right? So unfortunately, Oluremi Tinubu, just until a few years ago, while her husband was elected as president of Nigeria, did not return to the Senate, which she has been for donkey years. However, a quick search at Oluremi Tinubu's time in the Senate shows that she too was a fighter. In fact, Natasha needs to be given an award for self-control, discipline, and all that are around there. Considering now seeing what Oluremi Tinubu's activities and exploits were in the Senate. The picture you are seeing is a picture of Oluremi Tinubu directly fighting at this waka, Shege, and that is Dino Melaye, the former senator too from Kogi State, that Tinubu was attacking. She said in her own words that she was being bullied, she was being harassed. But then she didn't go the route of Natasha, who went on to submit petitions, went to court to seek legal conviction to be able to put the people that are harassing her in place. But Remi Tinubu fought back. I'm not joking. You are going to see a few other videos where Remi Tinubu had her boxing gloves on and had to fight. The problem is not that she fought. The problem is that she now thinks that she has become a motivational speaker or has the moral ground to discipline or chide somebody else. And unfortunately, she has forgotten that the internet never forgets. So let's see a few videos of Oluremi Tinubu fight and literally fighting. Another one where she was constituting nuisance. You also go to see that on plenary, right? The one she was fighting with Dino Melaye was out of plenary. The one she was constituting nuisance was in plenary. Then the last was the one where she actually humiliated, embarrassed. No need try to talk about what this guy did. This other man that I think the form Elisha Abo. Yes, remember the Elisha Abo, the senator that had all of the issues. Look at how Oluremi Tinubu humiliated, embarrassed, and was talking rudely. That the guy had to react. The guy, and I'm sure part of the reasons why the guy is not back in the Senate is all of the fights she had to fight with the former senator, now first lady. Look at a few of these videos, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Because of certain things which I explained and we discussed. So, you can ask him that question now. But, distinguished colleagues, order! Order! Why I'm taking order? Order, distinguished Senator Tinubu. Somebody's on the floor. On that side. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, why I'm taking us through this thing is because the nation is watching us.
Stop us. But you don't come to on the other side and start dictating to us. Do you want us to protect you, or do you want us to defend you, or you want to be on your own? Because do you realize that the Senate, off that mic and let me finish. Do you realize that the Senate, when we constitute this, whatever the law gives, we can also suspend you? Do you realize that? No, sir.
I
it
will
doesn't
not
come
sit
here on camera.
and threaten me with suspicion.
We are not threatening
I am
you.
a senator
I said
like
we are
you.
not threatening you.
I will not sit
Sir,
you threatening me suspension.
With all due respect, sir.
With all due respect to you, I won't sit here. You are my colleague. You are a senator like me. You cannot threaten me suspension. I take exception, ma'am.
Excuse me. Off that man. You are digging a hole for yourself.
Excuse me. All right, then go and bury me.
Okay. I'm also another woman.
Yes, ma'am.
If that doesn't answer your question, then of course it means that you are part of the people that we say are the hypocrisy sect. A lot of us are hypocrites, and you could imagine that because you are now first lady, you have forgotten all the nuisance you committed while in the Senate, all the atrocities you committed. Thank God for the internet. Thank God that Nigerians of this generation, though very weak, very passive, quite not so forceful, but then at least with social media that our strength currently lies, we are able to tell whoever we want to tell. But I think we should take it a bit further and put these kind of people in their place. Remi Tinubu cannot wake up and begin to form as though she's not a saint. She wants to define how somebody would react or respond to harassment, because you think that we are waiting for her. Nigerians have tagged all over social media to come and explain how this. But of course, remember, in all of this, the Senate President then, Bukola Saraki, was matured. I'm sure that we miss Bukola Saraki. Matured, leadership and influence that he exerted the money. Somebody even said yesterday that Bukola Saraki would have handled this matter better. The Neda Emaswen, again, I think we should establish this at this point. Nobody said that what Natasha did should not be probed, but then she wasn't given fair hearing. It was embarrassing to see Senator Neda Emaswen, who already is flocking with the APC, for them to give him the ticket of the Edo South Senatorial District to return to the Senate, because he knows, of course, that he will not be able to get that through the Labour Party. Already, for example, said it was dismissed, as if you are a court, a panel or a committee for ethics and privileges. And of course, it's also now been said that Natasha may have to resume duties pending when court decide, because a senator cannot suspend another senator. All of you were elected, and all of that conversation in public place. Again, I do not agree to Natasha 100%. Two things I have stood out for. Why were there no fair? Why is there no fair hearing for her? And then two, all of this time you are using to waste taxpayers' money, waste Nigerians' time. Use it in more productive ventures. There are very many things we should have: speedy adjudication, speedy outlook, speedy motion, speedy interest for. Why waste our time? The last 1 week, this has been the conversation. Suddenly, you don't care again about how Nigerians are faring. There are several other issues: insecurity, cost of living, poverty, hunger, a lot of things in this country that the Senate needs to pay attention to. But they aren't, of course. And then all of this ego and political fightings. Somebody made another statement that I think I like. Every Senate should have an opposition. Whether or not they agree politically or personally, there should be an opposition. But there is a spell currently on the country that seems to weaken the voices of people that speak against the ruling APC, whether spiritually and physically. So there is a gang physically that is shutting voices, and there is a spiritual spell that has been blown to weaken all of these opposition voices. Look at all of these guys; all of them have suddenly become quiet, and they have refused to talk. So it's not enough to say what Natasha did. It is beyond that. It is not enough to look at what she has done. It is beyond that. Why is that even Labour Party, APGA, all of these guys are quiet? What is happening? There's a problem. And if we do not have opposition raising their voices against certain of these elements, it means that we don't have a country. The Senate should be a place of deviant opinions, deviant views, deviant characters, if that should be. And then someone like Oluremi Tinubu had the largesse of having a professional Senate president like Bukola Saraki handle her, and then she went away with all of this harassment she did. But suddenly, because we have a clueless, worthless, useless Senate president at the moment, everything has to be political infighting. And look at her. Ahmed Lawal, former Senate president, was even saying that withdrawing her personal security would be dangerous because she's still a serving senator, though she has to stay suspended. Look at Gospel Babi using again emotions to answer, to say, if you give me car. And you could know that this is personal. This is very personal. And they are trying to do this now. Nobody between 2027 wakes up. And that's what I want Nigerians to know. This is deliberate, to say that if you wake up tomorrow, try to speak against the ordinance of the House, you will be dealt with the way this has been dealt with. And that's why Nigerians must open our eyes. We may not stand with any of these parties, but we must demand that the right things are done, and done in proper time. So Remi Tinubu, with all due respect, should shut up her mouth, and then she should go and sit down, because she doesn't have the moral justification to even talk. She's more of a nuisance. And if anything to go by, people like that have no business being in leadership. But she's first lady by your society. Mona, get that.
To all African store operators abroad, please, for many of us who live abroad, for somebody like me, I survive strictly on Nigerian diet, and you can imagine how much impact on my pocket. And for many of us, going to an African store to get food, it's not just about getting the food. For some of us, it's also an opportunity to connect with friends, but the practices that some of you are bringing up, it doesn't really work well. Let me give you an example. This is chopped spinach. In a Chinese store, for example, this spinach can be about $4 to $5. But in an African store, can be about $12 to $15. How bad? And the funniest part? You will go to that same Chinese store and you will see your fellow African brother who is operating an African store. That person will come to the same Chinese store to get the same goods at wholesale price and go back to their store to sell it to their fellow African brothers and sisters at a very exorbitant price. It does not really make sense. In case you have not noticed, as Chinese stores continue to push out more and more African products, even the white-based companies are also beginning to put more African products on their shelves. For example, in Canada, Real Canadian Superstore and No Frills, they are beginning to push more and more African products, Nigerian products on their shelves. So the more you continue to push us away with your exorbitant prices, the more we continue to put the money back into their pockets. So just take note of this. We love you. God bless you.
Every time tí wàá ṣùgbọ́n àti rí mi ló máa sọ fún mi pé òun jẹ́wọ́ owó yahoo òun jẹ́wọ́ yahoo so ó dẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń fi ṣe ó tún máa ń bí ẹ̀gbọ́n ọkàn bí kò máa sáà fi ṣe nǹkan kó máa tó wá bá mi kó dédé dá mi dúró tí n bá ń sọ̀kadà lọ kó dédé dá mi dúró pé sọ fún mi pé òun fowó sí nǹkan báyìí òun fi ń ṣe sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù bóyá òun fi ń rajà òun fi ń raṣọ òun fi ń ra màṣíìnì òun fi ń ra fóònù so àwọn nǹkan yẹn ó wá jẹ́ ẹ̀dùn ọkàn fún mi pé pé tí ó yẹ pé àjọ ń torí mi náà máa ń tẹkún lẹ́wọ̀n kan pé kìíní pé olúwa ìlú náà. ìwọ tí jẹ́wọ́ rí ní yahoo. ṣé yahoo mi ò jẹ́wọ́ tèmi. tó máa bọ́ rẹ̀ lọ. so ìkan tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé anytime tó bá láti rí mi wọ́n máa dá mi dúró mo máa sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ fún mi débi pé ó tún máa rán mi níṣẹ́ pé kó bóyá kó ń fún mi lówó kí n fi máa bóun gẹ́ẹ̀tì àwọn nǹkan kan. ìdí nìyẹn tó fi wá rò pé. so ìdí yẹn wá rò pé bóyá kémi náà gba díẹ̀ nínú owó ọwọ́ rẹ̀ pé tí èmi náà bá gbà nínú fi lè ra àwọn nǹkan tèmi náà bá fẹ́ rà. ọjọ́ wo wá ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀. tí n bá rántí déètì ọjọ́ Sunday ni ó yàn pé ọ̀hún 8 náà nítorí ó wá bá mi ó lóun fẹ́ ra ilẹ̀ so ngbọ́dọ̀ sọ fún mi pé òun fẹ́ ra ilẹ̀ ó wá sọ fún mi ní kò sí wàhálà pé mo ní èèyàn tó yẹ pé yóò mú wa lọ bí tí a ti lè ra ilẹ̀ torí ọmọ pé mi ò kí ta ilẹ̀ ọwá lòun ti gbọ́. ṣé o ti pààyàn rí? kí ló wá dé tó fi pa Ayọ̀ Wàsíù Òṣùpá yẹn?
There was no place I went on earth where the people there pointed fingers at me and say, your people did this to me. Never. My grandfather named me Zanu. Zanu means that which belongs to the dark, which means I'm attracted to negative things. And guess what? Name does actually work with kids. I love negative things, meaning that I love things that are not the group think. So, that day in the room in France, while the people were going round, I have never faced that question. I don't have the answer. I've never even thought about it. Right. So the answer came from their answers. So I'm listening and I was like, oh my God. If I introduce myself, it will be one of them whose parents gave me that name, Frank. I'm a black man from Africa. Here I am hanging with a French name, right? So I will use their grandfathers gave me that name. What is my official language? It's either French or English. They gave it to me. My mode of dressing, they gave it to me. The curriculums that raised me to even be able to be in that room, they gave it to me. The plane ride to that country, their forefathers built it, you understand? So it was hitting me and I said, wow. Then when it came to me, I said it. I said, wow. I have never thought about it. But this is the first time I will say to you, by listening to people, the burden with which they live their lives and grow. This is the first time I will say I am really proud of my ancestors because they left nothing behind, nothing at all. I've traveled the world as a black man and I have never seen a black country where the people who live in it are foreigners that were brought there by blacks as slaves. Not one single country. Yet the black race has more countries on earth than any other country. 54 are on the continent. 13 black countries in the Caribbean. So 68 black countries. There's not a single black country where slaves were bought from outside by black people. I've traveled the world. Not a single country in the world colonized by a black country. There's nowhere you go on Mother Earth where the language they are speaking was imposed on them by force by a black country. I've traveled the world and I've never seen a religion that is imposed upon anybody anywhere in this world by a black country. The 68 black countries in the world, the largest continent by number of countries, not a single one of them has a nuclear weapon of mass destruction. Black countries across the world, none of them is responsible for what we call the military complex, where we are manufacturing dirty bombs and sending things into the water to pollute people. I've traveled the world and I'm yet to see one product that was forced to be sold in another country by a black country. So it means the black race is the only race on earth that represents what the United Nations have been looking for the last 100 years, peace. Yes, we fought internal wars just like anybody, and that is all we did. Therefore, in my travels, there was no place I went on earth where the people there pointed fingers at me and say, your people did this to me. Never. The black person is the only one who travels this earth and no one who pointed a finger. That's what my ancestors left behind. Nothing.
Holy shit.
That has to be definitely, I'd say, more powerful than anything any of the other countries have said.
What did they tell them? Not be somebody picking their do. They go do them back now. Just say now everybody picking. They go do their own picking back. Not even their picking. Now every family go spend person picking. Now you train them. How much you give them? What we foresee anything for
this is happening live at Oimi. Live video. Hey. If you know her, please come to Oimi.
Gbogbo wa nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi mo rò pé èmi àti láti jọ mójú ajé kò ní sọ. Ojú wo lẹ́yìn fi wò? Báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí? Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe promise wípé mi ò ní pẹ́ wá lákòókò bó ṣe lè nǹkan mọ̀, so that a lè pín débi tó yẹ kó dé, àwọn tó yẹ kó gbọ́. Bó Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ní ìran mi, no going back. Ìgbà wo ni mi ò mọ̀, àkókò wo ni mi ò kúkú mọ̀, bọ́ mo mọ̀ wípé ó ti di dandan kí a ní ìtúsílẹ̀, ó ti di dandan kí okùn yẹn kó já báyìí. Bíbá ẹ̀ láti máa ń gbé oríṣiríṣi ètò yẹ̀wò bọ́ èwo ló jẹ wá lógún jù, ètò mú wá tó jẹ́ gàǹgà nínú ẹ̀ òun ni wípé a máa rí wípé ilé ayé ò ṣe gbé òun ò mà ṣe bínú lọ. Ìlú òyìnbó ó ti di oníbí ò lọ yá, ìlú Áfíríkà ṣe bínú lọ. Kí la fẹ́ ṣe sí báwo la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí? Àfi k'Ọlọ́run kó gbè wá níjà, kó fọwọ́ kún wa, kó kó wa yọ nínú ewu. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pa bó jẹ́ ọjọ́ ṣeré ẹ̀yin ìyá mi, ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, ẹ̀mí ọmọ yín náà ni Ayé Ọpẹ́ Yọ. Tó bá jẹ́ nígbà púpọ̀ ẹ má gbàgbé láti subscribe. Ẹ̀yin tó dẹ̀ já wà tíátíá ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá mi tẹ like, láti bá wa fi comment náà sílẹ̀. Àtẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń bá wa pín. Agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, ojú òní tiwa. God bless you. One love. Bye for now.
This is good news to all. But first of all, write this number down. 1-845-293-8937. You will get through to Divine Travels and Tours. They help you process and obtain USA work permit visa, tourism and visiting visa, vacation and cruises. Wow! The USA work permit visa allows you to legitimately work anywhere in USA once you arrive. Interesting. Call Divine Travels and Tours, New York, USA on 1-845-293-8937 or send email to divinetravelstours5@gmail.com. Divine Travels and Tours is tested, trusted, and reliable.
Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.